Alright, today we're going to look at two different teams in customs that involve using blobfish for a trigger reset. And both of them are going to feature specific units from the danger pack which have limited triggers. Now this is something you've been able to do for a long time. There are many more ways to actually accomplish it these days because we also have gingerbread and flounder and so on. But blobfish, since it was changed to give experience to 2 pets, I feel like it's one of the best for these types of builds, although it is a little bit awkward to use in certain circumstances, as we'll see. So here we're going to do something atypical. We're going to put seaweed on a unit that is behind turtle, and that's because ultimately the turtle is going to go and we're going to keep the drop bear with seaweed. And that's because this first build involves trying to bring together the jump and transform mechanics using the mannequin from Danger Pack. So mannequin has an ability which is kind of unique in that it activates based on friends jumping or friends transforming. And what I wanted to do was have a bunch of units that are both transforming and jumping in order to make the trigger reset worthwhile. Now, it looks like, am I going to pill the blobfish? I'm sure I'm not going to do that because I need it for the team. I guess we're just freezing the pill for turtle. Kind of unfortunate to be on turn 7 and not have the mannequin yet, which is a tier 2. Are we going to scrape through here? Yeah, I think we do. Maybe we wouldn't have done if the rabbit hadn't jumped to the front there. I'm not sure. We get another drop bear. Okay, we're gonna, we'll just get rid of the gelada now. Maybe I could be transforming the snail and hoping to try and get a mannequin that way, but I don't think that's what's going to happen here. Blowfish with pineapple, always scary, but we make it through. So yeah, turn 9 and we still don't have the tier 2 that we want. Okay, we are going to transform it, and this time we get Bigfoot. Again, not quite what we wanted. We do find the mannequin in shop, but I think probably it's a bit late now. We need to just transform this Bigfoot until we get what we need. And then I'll freeze the fairy dust because that can allow us to have a double jump from the Tasmanian devil. We do actually have to stagger the jumps and the transforms because otherwise the mannequin doesn't get the opportunity to reset its triggers in between. I guess that'll become clearer once we actually get the setup here. Okay, so we find another blobfish. Looks like I'm just going to pill the first one. And then we will take the fairy dust. Another transformation produces dromedary, which is not what we need. But we also got to make sure that we keep it at level 2.66, otherwise we won't be able to reset the trigger count. I think it has 3 triggers to begin with, although I believe there's a patch coming out soon which is going to change that and increase the health gain but reduce the number of triggers overall. Another tie. We really need to get this transformation working pretty soon. Double cat getting buffed by dromedary is very tempting, but I just don't have the space of the team. So we need to find a transform food. Okay, we're going to feed up the dromedary knowing that ultimately it's going to become the mannequin. Here's Rev going for something unusual with the fringe head plus saber-tooth, but we actually get this incredibly rare situation where he ends up giving me a level 2 mammoth, although the wombat then copies mammoth as well. So yeah, both teams ended up getting a benefit from the saber-tooth getting sniped there. Another transform food, and we go back to having Bigfoot again. I think at some point soon I'm just going to give up on the turtle because it would be nice to just get the Sumatran tiger into the team. And here we're going to automatically lose to some bog standard Metabrusk gameplay. I think I can link the video for this in the description if you want to see it, but it's mantis transforming into coconut crab. Of course, this has since been patched out, so you can't get the permanent coconut anymore. So yeah, we do finally get rid of the turtle and bring in the Sumatran tiger. Try and get it to level 2. The 2 free rolls don't help us find any transform foods. Now I'm not sure if I had more than just chickpea in this pack. It could be that I only had chickpea as the main way of trying to transform things. But it looks like we're going to get away with a win here. So now we're actually getting too close to the victory. We really need to get the mannequin, and there we go. I don't know how many chickpeas that was, 4 or 5, but now we've finally got the setup. So at start of battle, we're going to get 2 jumps from the danger units in the back line. And then after that, the blobfish will get knocked out, reset the mannequin, and then we'll get a jump from the drop bear, a transformation, and then another jump from the fairy dust. Assuming the Tasmanian devil survives, of course. So you can see it working here. The triggers get reset, and then the Tasmanian devil jumps forwards, and we get another one. So the mannequin goes up to 44 health, which is pretty ridiculous, and it gets us another win. So now we just need one more. I think we do need to rearrange here because, yeah, the Sumatran tiger would waste the splash damage if it was in the backline slot. Unfortunately, we're going to get absolutely obliterated here by this Anubis plus double Bush Viper team. I'm not sure if I had steak here or not. I really should have had steak or something, or salt even, to put on the Sumatran tiger. Turn 16, it's going to be another automatic loss to one of these buy-sell teams. Thankfully, these are much less common these days since Bird of Paradise has been changed, but yeah, a lot of players still seem to have a fascination with them. But we still have 1 heart left. We just need to draw a sensible opponent on the final turn, and this actually looks perfectly beatable. So Elephant Camel, but we destroy the backline. I think it was Wolverine and Cuckoo, although we didn't really have any summons to get in the way. The elephant gets knocked out by the drop bear and the camel. So now we just have to beat this rather large harpy eagle, which we are going to be able to do. However, it does have Yggdrasil fruit on it, and we lose to the single goat in the back. Alright, we can't feel too bad about that last one because we did get very lucky getting the team set up in the first place. But I think here's one that was probably easier to set up overall, and it involves using the Tier 1 Bombus. So this is a sniping pet on Tier 1, which I've used in many videos already. It is incredibly, I think it's incredibly good for a Tier 1, but it does only have 2 triggers. Now on the test server, it originally had unlimited triggers, as far as I remember, which definitely is way too good for Tier 1. And here we have to resist the temptation to buy the duplicate in the shop, because then we'll cause the level up to happen and we won't be able to reset the triggers anymore. I guess technically these days, now that Hooded Seal exists, you could actually have a reset where a unit was on maximum experience and then got taken down a level by the Hooded Seal, but I think in practical terms that's got to be even harder than both of these builds I was going for. So Gelada from the Stoat Lottery is the absolute dream. Am I going to take any of these? Maybe Secretary Bird? I've tried to record some stuff with Raccoon recently, but unfortunately some of the mechanics that I was hoping to take advantage of just don't work the way I hoped they would. Okay, maybe we are going to take the Raccoon though, just for some, just for a bit of variety. I think it's one of the strongest units that hardly anyone plays, and it has been for quite a long time, but I guess there is definitely a sense in Arena these days that a lot of people just don't play with equipment on their team, or if they do, they have like Turtle at the front, you know. So the Raccoon would have to survive attacking the first unit before the it's able to steal the melon. So we're going to go for level 2 Angel Shark. Well, I guess level 3 Angel Shark since we already have 2 of them. Again here, yeah, similar situation where the only equipment is in the back or behind a feint. So the raccoon doesn't get to steal the white ochre there. Yeah, one step closer to level 3. Definitely take the bonobo and the raccoon. We still need to look for the blobfish though. Now you can do trigger resets using flounder as well, but I think blobfish is just the easiest option by far. Unfortunately here we steal the garlic instead of the melon, but it still works out okay. I think Bombus plus pineapple, it's pretty nice tempo. And actually if we can get the reset going, that will mean that the pineapple will get completely used up on the Bombus, whereas otherwise it would normally only ever get 2 triggers. I guess you can also put mana on the Bombus so that it gets all 3 triggers, but probably not worth buying the mana potion just for that. Unfortunately here we end up, we go against Porcupine, which does snipe back at the Bombus in the back line. And I think we are just going to scrape the win, yeah. So again, we're kind of racing towards the early victory here. And am I going to take this mushroom? I can't remember what the other pet I'm looking for here is, but I think maybe we're going to transform the angel shark. Okay, we get the blobfish. I suppose actually giving the blobfish mushroom will give the Bombus 2 feints in front, or 2 attacks in front, to actually make sure the ability goes off. Pretty scary looking level 3 hatching chick team here, which, yeah, that team is going to be unbeatable in a couple of turns' time with the level 2 cat. So I think sell Puma, buy blobfish, and then buy the mushroom. And then I think I'm going to look for something else. I'm sure I wanted another summon unit here in the team to try and make sure that we get all the snipes possible once the Bombus has been reset. I guess the blue dragon could actually attack twice, and because we do have the doggo, I guess we did end up using all the triggers there, both sets of triggers. So we get the albatross, and I'm going to bring it in now and then transform the angel shark in its level 3 tiger bug, which is incredibly good. Yeah, I freeze some health food to try and make sure that the albatross survives. And of course, if we get blobfish with mushroom is actually going to level the albatross up here as well. Excellent steal from the raccoon, although we are going to give them a bunch of attack. The Bombus does snipe the unit in the back line. And then here we go, we get the reset. The albatross goes up to level 2, and the Bombus does a lot more damage than it would otherwise. So not a huge amount of resetting going on in that one, but definitely a lot easier to go for than the mannequin. So then here's a bunch of random clips from other runs going for the same thing. But here's matching up with Bird with the double Pangasius. And I think this round is going to be a win. Yeah, all the hits go on to the Philippine Eagle and the mannequin survives. And then here's another one against Rev again. The same similar situation where we're matching against the mammoth in the back, or the saber-tooth in the back that produces the mammoth, which the wombat then copies. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I don't know if Rev put this video out or not, but yeah, very fun team. And then here's matching with Metabrusk, and I felt like as soon as I saw this is an automatic win, because we wreck the backline with the Sumatran Tiger splash damage. But Amalgamation level 3 comes back to life with the mushroom, and then this level 1 bear is going to completely decimate the health on the mannequin, and it has just enough mana snipe to kill. And then the last one here, this is on 9 wins, turn 17, we still have 2 hearts. This one was kind of funny because it doesn't really have the proper setup. We've already got the mannequin level 3 by accident because of a transformation. But we do have the multiple transforms going with the butterfly. And yeah, I feel like butterfly or caterpillar is probably underutilized in some of these transform squads. And we end up beating Equi for the level 3 mannequin ribbon.